the Ainu people of the Kuril Islands tell the tale of the stolen charm. A very rich man kept a puppy and a fox cub. Besides these, he possessed a tiny silver model of a ship, a charm given to him by some god. What god, I know not. One day this charm was stolen and could nowhere be found. The rich man was so violently grieved at this time that he lay down and refused all food and was like to die. Meanwhile, the puppy and the fox cub played about in his room. But when they saw, after some time, that the man was really going to die, the fox cub said to the puppy, "If our master dies, we shall die of hunger too, so we had better search for the charm." So they consulted as to the best way to search for it, and at last the fox cub was struck by the idea that the ogre who lived at the top of the mountain that stands at the end of the world might have stolen the charm and put it into his box. The fox cub seemed to see that this had really happened, so the two little animals determined to go and rescue the charm from the ogre, but they knew that they could not accomplish this alone. They resolved to add the rat god to their number, so they invited the rat, and the three went off together, dancing merrily. Now the ogre was always looking steadily in the direction of the sick rich man, hoping that he would die, so he did not notice the approach of the fox cub, the dog, and the rat. So when they reached the ogre's house, the rat, with the help of the fox cub, scooped out a passage under and into the house, by which all three made their way in. They then decided that it must be left to the rat to get a hold of the charm by nibbling a hole in the box in which it was kept. Meanwhile, the fox cub assumed the shape of a little boy and the puppy that of a little girl, two beautiful little creatures who danced and went through all sorts of antics, much to the amusement of the ogre. The ogre was, however, suspicious as to how they had come into the house, and from whence they had come, for the doors were not open. So he determined just to divert himself a while by watching their frolics, and then to kill them. Meanwhile, the rat had nibbled a hole in the box. Then after getting into it, he rescued the charm, and went out again through the passage in the ground. The little boy and girl disappeared too, how the ogre could not tell. He made to pursue them through the door, when he saw them fleeing. But on second thoughts, he came to the conclusion that having once been taken by a fox, there was no use in further endeavors, so he did not follow the three animals as they fled away. They returned to the village, the puppy and the fox cub to their master's house, the rat to his own place. The puppy and the fox cub took home with them the charm, and placed it by their master's pillow, playing about near him and pulling at his clothes a little with their teeth. At length he lifted his head and saw the charm. Then he worshipped it with great joy and gratitude. Afterwards the fox cub and the puppy caused him to see in a dream how the charm had been recovered through the rat's assistance. So he worshipped the rat also. For this reason, the Ainos do not think so badly of the rat after all. The fox too, though often pursued by dogs, will sometimes make friends with them. And even when a dog is pursuing a fox, it will not bite the latter if it turns its face to the pursuer.